I had always been fascinated by the abandoned Briarwood Hospital. Its imposing ivy-covered facade loomed over the town like a forgotten sentinel of suffering. Stories whispered of its dark history, experimental treatments gone awry, unexplained deaths, and the tortured souls left behind. My fascination had grown into an obsession, and one moonless night, I decided to explore its ominous corridors. The moment I set foot inside the decaying hospital, an icy chill swept over me. Moonlight filtered through cracked windows, casting eerie shadows that danced on the peeling walls. The air was thick with a peculiar mixture of antiseptic and decay, creating an unsettling olfactory cocktail. My flashlight flickered as I navigated the maze. Like hallways, its beam revealing broken gurneys, shattered glass, and rusted surgical instruments that lay in gruesome disarray. The silence was punctuated only by the soft rustling of rodents and the occasional drip of water. As I ventured deeper, a sense of unease washed over me. The stories of the hospital's horrific experiments and the anguished cries of its patients echoed in my mind. The weight of the place pressed down on my shoulders like a suffocating shroud. I reached a set of double doors with frosted glass panels, now shattered, which revealed a sterile, decaying operating theater. An eerie light emanated from a rusted overhead lamp, casting long shadows across the cold metal table at its center. On that table lay a single, tattered doll, its porcelain face cracked and its glass eyes cloudy. Approaching the doll, I couldn't help but notice its uncanny resemblance to a child. Its cracked lips seemed frozen in a silent plea, and its cold porcelain skin felt strangely lifelike beneath my touch. It was as if the doll held the remnants of tormented soul within its fragile form. Before I could react, a haunting, childlike whisper filled the room. "Play with me," it pleaded, the words barely audible. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized that the doll was not an inanimate object. It was alive, or at least it seemed to be. Instinctively, I picked up the doll, its tiny porcelain hands clutching onto my finger with surprising strength. A shiver ran down my spine as I cradled it, uncertain of what to do next. I ventured deeper into the forsaken hospital, the doll in tow. The whispered pleas grew louder, chorus of lost souls begging for release. It was as if the hospital itself had become a vessel for the tormented spirits of those who had suffered within its walls. Finally, I reached the basement, the heart of the hospital's darkness. The dimly lit corridor seemed to stretch endlessly into the abyss. Flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast eerie shadows that danced along the walls like specters. In the depths of the basement, I discovered a room filled with rusted cages, each containing a doll identical to the one in my possession. The room echoed with the soft cries and whispers of the trapped souls. They pleaded for freedom, for salvation from the eternal torment that had befallen them. I realized that I couldn't leave without freeing them. Desperation and determination overcame my fear. I gathered the dolls one by one, placing them on a long metal table in the center of the room. With trembling hands, I began to recite words I didn't fully understand, an incantation I had discovered in a moldy, forgotten tome. As I chanted, the dolls trembled and shook, their porcelain faces contorting in agony. A blinding light filled the room, and I felt a surge of energy coursing through me. The dolls shattered into pieces, their shattered faces twisting in anguish as the trapped souls were released. The hospital seemed to sigh with relief, its malevolent energy dissipating like a dissipating fog. I stood there, gasping for breath, surrounded by the shattered remnants of the dolls. But as the last doll crumbled to dust, a whisper brushed against my ear, a haunting farewell from the spirits I'd set free. The hospital fell silent, its dark history buried beneath the ruins. I left the Briarwood Hospital that night, forever changed by the horrors I had witnessed and the souls I had liberated. The weight of their suffering, now released, hung heavy in the air, a reminder that some secrets are better left buried, and some places should never be disturbed.